Allô, bonjour, comment tu t'appelles?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Chinenye.
Chinenye, comment ça va?
Ça va bien, merci. Et vous?
What station is that?
That's 94.5 FM Urban Radio Enugu.
Wow, is that not French I'm hearing?
You haven't heard? You're really missing out. Every Saturday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m, Urban Radio gives us free basic French lessons on the French Cruise Niger show live on radio.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I never knew French was this easy to learn. I can now speak some basic French since I started following the show. I am so excited. Guess what?
What?
It's the conversation section for me. You know, that's when we call in on the show to ask or answer questions live on the show. I always look forward to speaking my basic French with the host, Eddie Bongo.
That's amazing. I really have to get in on this.
Yes, so you should.
Join the French Cruise Niger radio show every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on 94.5 FM Urban Radio Enugu with me, your celebrity French teacher, Eddie Bongo. I got you. Au revoir.
Magicien.
Et voilà, bonjour à tous, bonjour Enugu, bonjour le Nigeria, bonjour l'Afrique, bonjour à tous ceux qui sont à l'écoute cet après-midi. C'est l'heure pour votre émission bilingue French Cruise Niger qui vous arrive tous les samedis en direct sur Urban Radio 94.5 FM dans la capitale de l'état d'Enugu. Welcome to the bilingual radio show that reaches you every Saturday, the French Cruise Niger radio show live on Urban Radio 1 p.m. every Saturday. And I want to say a very special bonjour and bon weekend to my amazing students and listeners out there. Bonjour, comment ça va? It's a very special week the world over because this week, 20th March precisely, the world is celebrating the International Day of La Francophonie. Yeah, it's an annual thing. Every 20th March, the world celebrates La Journée Internationale de la Francophonie, which I told you about last Saturday. And last Saturday, I also let us know that today is going to be a special one because we are collaborating with the largest body of French language in Nigeria, which is the University French Teachers Association of Nigeria, to bring you a special panel discussion today. Many of you don't really know that French language is unofficially Nigeria's second official language. So we have a large community that takes care of this language in Nigeria, in universities, colleges of education, and in all other professional sectors of the country, including the broadcasting section. So today, the 21st March, we are in our own way trying to mark and celebrate the International Day of La Francophonie with a panel discussion, and the topic is the impact of digital technology on the teaching and learning of French language in Nigerian universities.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Monsieur Yagaze Obiwane. You are listening to the French Cruise Niger radio show with Eddie Bongo on 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. Ne quittez pas, chers auditeurs. Bon week-end, amusez-vous bien.
Urban Radio.
Magicien.
Alright, welcome once again to your bilingual radio show, the French Cruise Niger radio show. And like I said, today we are having this special panel discussion which is coming to you in collaboration with the University French Teachers Association of Nigeria. And we have the panelists who are going to be connected right now. We're going to get them on phone because we have just one of them in the studio, because the others are actually sharing their wealth of knowledge from distant places. We have first and foremost on the list, we have Professor Samson Nzwanke, who is a lecturer, a professor of French at University of Calabar. Applaudissez très fort, Professor Samson Nzwanke. And second on the list is our friend, a popular scholar and academic in Nigeria, Professor Simeon Olaiwola himself, all the way from ABU Zaria. Applaudissez très fort. And number 3 on the list here, on the panelist list today, we have Professor Alice Bisimire, connecting all the way from University of Lagos, Unilag. Applaudissez très fort. And last but not the least on the list, we have right here in our studio, in the person of, as a great young scholar too, the person of Dr. Blessing Ezinne Oka, live from Funai.
Alex Ekweme Federal University, Ndufu Alike.
Yeah, louder again, madam.
Alex Ekweme Federal University,
Yes.
Ndufu Alike.
Alex Ekweme Federal University, that's in Abakaliki. You're welcome, madam. Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Okay, ça va bien, merci. Mesdames et messieurs, here we have Dr. Ezinne Blessing right here in the studio, and I'm privileged to be the host of this show. But before we hit the ground rolling, before we set the show rolling this afternoon, let me say a quick bonjour and shout out to the president of this great association, and that's the person of Professor Richard Aja. Madam, say bonjour to Prof. I guess he's listening.
Prof. Richard, bonjour.
Bonjour, comment ça va, Prof? Professor Richard is a professor of French at University of
Uyo,
University of Uyo. Prof, we say bonjour to you. And we have the vice president of this association too, Professor Busari Lasisi, Kaduna State University, right? Yes, bonjour, Prof. And to all the ESCOs of this great association, we say bonjour. Right now, we'll go on a short music break, and when we come back, we'll have our panelists all on board, and then we're going to set the ball rolling right now on the French Cruise Nigeria radio show. You stay put. To my amazing students out there, all you have to do is stay put and take down important notes. You know how we do on the French Cruise Nigeria radio show. We might just come up with some reward for those who paid attention and were able to come up with amazing points, notable points from the lecture today. Bonjour à tous, bonjour Enugu, bonjour le Nigeria, bonjour l'Afrique, bonjour à tous ceux qui sont à l'écoute cet après-midi. C'est l'heure pour votre émission bilingue French Cruise Nigeria qui vous arrive tous les samedis en direct sur Urban Radio 94.5 FM dans la capitale de l'état d'Enugu. Welcome to the bilingual radio show that reaches you every Saturday, the French Cruise Nigeria radio show live on Urban Radio 1 p.m. every Saturday. And I want to say a very special bonjour and bon weekend to my amazing students and listeners out there. Bonjour, comment ça va? It's a very special week the world over because this week, 20th March precisely, the world is celebrating the International Day of La Francophonie. Yeah, it's an annual thing. Every 20th March, the world celebrates La Journée Internationale de la Francophonie, which I told you about last Saturday. And last Saturday, I also let us know that today is going to be a special one because we are collaborating with the largest body of French language in Nigeria, which is the University French Teachers Association of Nigeria, to bring you a special panel discussion today. Many of you don't really know that French language is unofficially Nigeria's second official language. So we have a large community that takes care of this language in Nigeria, in universities, colleges of education, and in all other professional sectors of the country. So today, the 21st March, we are in our own way trying to mark and celebrate the International Day of La Francophonie with a panel discussion, and the topic is the impact of digital technology on the teaching and learning of French language in Nigerian universities.
Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Monsieur Yagaze Obiwane. You are listening to the French Cruise Niger radio show with Eddie Bongo on 94.5 Urban Radio, Enugu. Ne quittez pas, chers auditeurs. Bon week-end, amusez-vous bien.
Urban Radio.
Magicien.
Alright, welcome once again to your bilingual radio show, the French Cruise Niger radio show. And like I said, today we are having this special panel discussion, which is coming to you in collaboration with the University French Teachers Association of Nigeria. And we have the panelists who are going to be connected right now. We're going to get them on phone because we have just one of them in the studio because the others are actually sharing their wealth of knowledge from distant places. We have first and foremost on the list, we have Professor Samson Nzwanke, who is a lecturer, a professor of French at University of Calabar. Applaudissez très fort, Professor Samson Nzwanke. And second on the list is our friend, a popular scholar and academic in Nigeria, Professor Simeon Olaiwola himself, all the way from ABU Zaria. Applaudissez très fort. And number 3 on the list here, on the panelist list today, we have Professor Alice Bisimire, connecting all the way from University of Lagos, Unilag. Applaudissez très fort. And last but not the least on the list, we have right here in our studio, in the person of, as a great young scholar too, the person of Dr. Blessing Ezinne Oka, live from Funai.
Yes. Alex Ekweme Federal University in Dufu Alike.
Yeah, louder again, madam.
Alex Ekweme Federal University.
Yes.
Dufu Alike.
Alex Ekweme Federal University. That's in Abakaliki.
In Abakaliki.
You're welcome, madam. Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Okay, ça va bien, merci. Mesdames et messieurs, here we have Dr. Ezinne Blessing right here in the studio, and I'm privileged to be the host of this show. But before we hit the ground rolling, before we set the show rolling this afternoon, let me say a quick bonjour and shout out to the president of this great association, and that's the person of Professor Richard Aja. Madam, say bonjour to Prof. I guess he's listening.
Prof. Richard, bonjour.
Bonjour, comment ça va, Prof? Professor Richard is a professor of French at University of
Uyo,
University of Uyo. Prof, we say bonjour to you. And we have the vice president of this association too, Professor Busari Lasisi, Kaduna State University, right? Yes, bonjour, Prof. And to all the ESCOs of this great association, we say bonjour. Right now, we'll go on a short music break, and when we come back, we'll have our panelists all on board, and then we're going to set the ball rolling right now on the French Cruise Niger radio show. You stay put. To my amazing students out there, all you have to do is stay put and take down important notes. You know how we do on the French Cruise Niger radio show. We might just come up with some reward for those who paid attention and were able to come up with amazing points, notable points from the lecture today. Hello? Hello, Professor Samson?
Yes, we are on.
Okay, good to have you connected on the show, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, Professor Simeon Olaiwola.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay. Professor Simeon Olaiwola, please, we have just introduced the panel. We're yet to connect with Professor Alice Simire, but we have Dr. Blessing Ezinne Oka in the building. Please say bonjour to them.
Mais prof, je vous dis bonjour. Professor Samson, bonjour prof. Professor Simire, bonjour.
We're here to connect with Professor Simire. Okay, now the occasion today is the panel discussion that we are having, a program put together by the University French Teachers Association of Nigeria and French Cruise Niger in partnership with Urban Radio. So we're looking at the impact of digital technology in the teaching and learning of French language in Nigeria. Hello, Prof. Are you listening, sir?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, Professor Samson, please, we start with you. This week we're celebrating the International Journée de la Francophonie, the International Day of La Francophonie. Could you take 2 or 3 minutes to educate our listeners what the La Francophonie signifies, what it's really all about, before we dive into the main topic of the day?
In French or in English, please?
In English, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Edibongo.
Yes, Prof.
The celebration of this Francophonie has been on for several years.
Okay, louder, sir.
The question is, what is Francophonie as a concept? This is a word that was developed, that was invented, if I may use that term, in 1880 by a French geographer, Onésime Reclus, who claims that the French government at the time should expand the French language should try to make the French language to get to every part of the world. And after that period, the word just died like that. It was not until 1955 when Léopold Sédar Senghor, the former president of Senegal, who was a Secretary of State at the French the French cabinet at the time, started thinking about something to bring Francophones together.
Okay.
And in 1962, he wrote an article that was published in Esprit in November 1962, where that word Francophonie resurfaced in that his article. I have a copy of that article.
Okay, great.
And yeah, so based on that, now he started contacting other Francophone leaders at the time, people like Abid Bourguiba, who was in detention at that time because of his attempts to get Tunisia liberated from French colonial rule. And then he contacted people like Hamani Diori, who became president of Niger. And then there was Prince Norodom Sihanouk of Cambodia, whom he contacted. So these are 4 people, the 4 founding fathers of the Francophonie. But Francophonie, as an organization, did not just start as it is. It started first as the Agence de Coopération Culturelle et Technique on the 20th of March 1970 in Niamey.
Yeah.
It was this ACCT that evolved into Agence Intergouvernementale de la Francophonie in 1998, and eventually into l'Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie on the 23rd of November 2005, when a charter was adopted in Antananarivo. It was that chapter that formalized the transformation from ACCT, REF to OEF. But the effective date was the 1st of January 2006. That was how this Francophonie came about, which we are celebrating today.
Okay.
And the essence, Francophonie has 2 pillars. First is the linguistic angle, which is about promoting the French language. And the second is the political angle, which is about getting all French-speaking countries under one umbrella to promote their interests. And that structure has a conference of heads of state. It has a secretariat general. We once had an African as the secretary general, the former president of Senegal, Abdou Diouf. It has a conference of ministers, and then there's a Fondation Internationale pour les Échanges Culturels, which is what is helping to sponsor certain programs we meet in Uftan and around the world. That's in a nutshell what the Francophonie is all about. Thank you.
Wow, that was excellent one. Thank you so much, Professor Samson Zwanke, all the way from University of Calabar. Merci beaucoup, Prof.
Je vous en prie.
All right. So without wasting much time, we have just about 30-something minutes to go before the end of this program. Could you take 5 minutes, sir, to tell us about today's topic, the impact of digital technology in the teaching and learning of French in Nigerian universities, before we move straight to Professor Simeon Olaiwola and then to the guest in the studio?
Okay. The teaching and learning of that, the impact of digital technology in the teaching and learning of French in Nigerian universities is something that has become, that is new, I would say, because before the 2000s,
Yes.
we knew about teaching with the board, using books and all that. But with the advent of the ICT
Yes.
and the Gen Z, the advent of what you call smartphones and all of that, it has become imperative to take the teaching of French to the user.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because the teaching of French using ICT, using the digital technology, when taken to the user, makes it more interactive. It personalizes the teaching. It makes it more accessible to even some of these people in the most remotest angles of the country.
Okay.
And it encourages what we call cultural immersion, because sometimes using videos or watching videos, listening to tapes, you see, you could get yourself immersed in the language spoken by the French. You will no longer be limited to what you hear your teacher teach in the classroom.
Okay.
You can use that. Yes, it takes you closer to the French, closer to the native French speakers, and it helps it offers you certain dynamics, certain alternatives in the course of your learning. And above all, when you make mistakes, you can get corrected by the system, because some of these technologies like AI would provide you with answers to questions you ask, would provide you with correct pronunciations of terms and all of that.
Yes.
So that is what we are trying to look at in respect of the teaching and learning of French language in Nigerian universities.
Okay. So, Prof, are you trying to say that the upgrade in ICT is a good thing for the teaching and learning of French? Because talking about digital technology, I don't think it's a new thing in the teaching and learning of French in Nigeria. What is the new thing that is happening that has actually motivated us to come up with this topic? I don't know if you understand my question. Back then when we were in school, we had laboratories and we had audiovisual materials. And the doctor in the studio, if you have an answer to this, I want to know what's new about the digital technology that we're talking about today, and the impact it has on the teaching. Let's wait for Professor Sampson if he has something to say. Professor?
Okay, when we say it is new, we are talking about the smartphones. Before 2015,
Okay.
we didn't really have smartphones that way.
That's true, sir.
We had digital technology for so long, up to the 2000, but from 2010 we started having smartphones, which allowed our students to access lectures online in their private time during at home. And then as time went on, we developed what we call online teaching, which effectively became pronounced in 2000 during the COVID era.
Yes.
So you can see how new it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's true.
That is the point we are trying to make.
All right. I think this is a new angle and this is a new perspective. Thank you so much, Prof. Especially in this era of digital advancement in digital technology. Prof, please stay put. Let's get Professor Simeon Olaiwola on the microphone and see what he has to say on this topic that we are looking at today. Professor Olaiwola, are you here with us, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. You're welcome once again, Prof.
Thank you so much for having me.
Prof, 1 minute. Introduce yourself in French, sir. Dr. Ezine is right here, blessing, right here in the studio. Please say bonjour to Professor Simeon Olaiwola.
Professor Olaiwola. Bonjour, prof.
Il est professeur, hein?
Oh, bonjour. Il est professeur, oui, merci.
Pas encore, pas encore.
Qui, vous?
Et blague.
Ok, est-ce que vous avez dit bonjour au professeur Simeon?
Oui, mon prof. Bonjour, prof. Professeur Simeon, bonjour.
Ok. Il vous écoute. D'accord, Prof. Can you go ahead, please, and right away you go straight ahead to let us know your own view on this topic that we are discussing today, the impact of digital technology on the teaching and learning of French in Nigerian universities in this 21st century.
Okay, thank you so
Prof, I think you're... Okay.
University, Zaria.
It's breaking, sir. Maybe you will find the best location to stay, Prof. Maybe the place you used the last time we interviewed you.
Okay, can you hear me clearly?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
All right.
So, without wasting time, we are talking about the impact of digital technology in the teaching and learning of French in Nigerian university.
Yes, Prof.
Well, starting from the point of view of technology has never been something strange to the teaching and learning of French in Nigerian universities.
Exactly.
But I think what is a little new is the word digital, which is added to it.
Yeah.
And going digital, it makes it real time. So when we talk about the impact of digital technology in the teaching and learning of French, it is good to understand clearly what this digital technology implies before we can talk about its impact in the teaching and learning of French.
Okay.
When we talk about this digital technology, we are talking about, for instance, podcasts, we are talking about YouTube, we are talking about WhatsApp, we are talking about Zoom, we are talking about Google Classroom, like Google Meet and all that. All the technology that come together to make teaching and learning real time, that as you are teaching the learners from wherever they are learning and going along with you. So if we look at the impact that this digital technology has created, sincerely, as you alluded, the days of COVID-19 brought about the influx of this digital technology, because we have always had online teaching by correspondence and all that, but digital technology came because it was difficult for people to gather at the same spot and to do the teaching and learning in a physical way. And that has become a blessing to the teaching and the learning of French. Blessing to the teachers, because it gives the teachers the opportunity to search for materials, to search for resources, and to reach out to as many learners as possible at the same time, without thinking about whether the classroom is big enough or the classroom is small, without thinking about who will be able to attend lectures and all that. Then going forward, we have the opportunity of going to Radio France International, downloading some podcasts, and making them to become real life situations where learners and teachers interact as if they are together. And it's a kind of linguistic immersion, even if it is not in a kind of what people call presential. It gives opportunity to see things the way they are in real life.
That's true.
Also, when we look at the opportunity that the Tele5 mode has offered, Tele5 mode has a lot of programs. They have a lot of rubric in French, where it is possible to interact with other learners from wherever they are. And also for the teacher, it makes what they are planning so easy and so real that things that ordinarily wouldn't be achieved in our normal physical classes, they become achievable. And also, from our own point of view,
Yes, Prof.
this technology has a lot of impact because one, it provides a type of exposure to the native speakers of the language, and not only that, it gives an opportunity for learners and teachers to get moderated, that is, get improved in whatever they do and the way they also interact. And not only that, digital technology has come to play a very important role in the area of planning curriculum within the university system. And not only that, it has come as a kind of improved infrastructural advantage because it gives a kind of virtual reality and improves whatever the teacher is teaching and the way and manner the learners on their own they follow adequately. So to me, it's a kind of authentic, somehow it's an authentic immersion advantage that this digital technology is providing for us in teaching and learning of French at the university. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so much, Prof, as usual. All right, Prof, a quick question, please, before we move to the next panelist who is right here in the studio with us.
I'm with you.
Okay, Prof. Now, as regards this infrastructural development that you mentioned, now, how well or how far do university authorities go to, provide 21st century digital equipment for departments of French? Is it the job of the university authorities or is it the job of the relevant organizations that are related to France, or is it the job of the French government? Vis-a-vis, yes, like your university and some other universities, how well are the laboratories equipped now with 21st century digital equipment?
Yeah, from my own point of view, this is an assignment that should be taken up by all the stakeholders, the universities, the Department of French, the French government, and other organizations that are interested in the teaching and learning of French.
Okay.
If we look at what is obtained in the Nigerian universities today, there is a serious problem. It's just that we have to make sure that we go over, or we have to make sure that we triumph over these problems. Problem number one, in a situation where there is no adequate supply of electricity,
it
is going to be difficult to have this digital technology impacting on our teaching and learning of French. You agree with me that in Nigeria today we have a lot of problems.
Exactly.
And not only electricity problems, we also have connection problems. When we talk about how you get connected to the internet, all the service providers are making efforts, but still we are not yet there.
Yeah.
So until there is serious improvement in the area of electricity and the area of connectivity in terms of internet, it will be very difficult. Because what is happening in the Department of French today, I can tell you for free, 90%, if not more, of lecturers teaching French are making personal effort. They are making personal efforts to use digital technology to teach French to our students. Because in most cases, you even get to some lecturers' offices, the offices are not even encouraging.
Exactly.
And what the lecturer is going to do? And it starts from us, really. As I said, 90% or more of lecturers today teaching French, they are making personal efforts to use this digital technology. But the remaining 10% probably, they are not digital compliant. And we still have some of our colleagues who have difficulties in even using a simple computer. And that's a serious deficiency. But I think that with the 90% or more that we have, things are moving gradually.
Yes.
So the university system, we can only encourage the university system to make efforts to encourage the teaching and learning of French by making enabling environments available in terms of having a kind of real room, a room where there could be computers that will connected to internet, and that will aid the teaching and learning and also the job of the lecturer. And the other stakeholders, I know the major stakeholder is France, because when we talk about French, we are also talking about France.
Exactly.
The bulk of the advantages they come to us as individuals, as Nigerians. But I think the French government is transform as possible through the French to encourage departments of French in a way of providing them with proper routers through which they can teach without having unnecessary hiccup. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Prof. These are great ideas, noble ideas that you have given on this occasion, and we can only pray for access to funds that will enable universities to acquire this or get these grants from the French government.
And I think also lecturers should make effort to develop. We should develop ourselves individually in the area of digital technology, because you cannot give what you don't have.
That's so true.
I can tell you that we still have some of our colleagues who cannot do a simple download, who cannot do simple upload, who cannot even do simple using Zoom or Google Meet to arrange their lectures. And I think it should start from there.
Yes.
Like one of my Pascal Ohama will say, it begins with bonjour.
Exactly.
It should begin with, let us equip ourselves so that when the opportunity comes, when the encouragement comes, we'll be able to translate it into real teaching activity.
This boils down to the individual. Everyone has work to do to get upgraded.
Exactly.
Thank you, Prof. Professor Sampson, please.
Yes, I'm with you.
Please, Prof, I'd like to disconnect the both of you to try Professor Simire. But before I do that, do you have 2 minutes for your last words on this before I speak with the guest in the studio and call Professor Simire again?
I think Professor Olaiwola has said it all.
Okay, sir.
He has said so much, because when we talk about the impact of digital technology on the teaching of French, we are talking about moving from passivity. Okay, that lecturers and students moving from that being passive consumers of what you see, to being active in a connected world. And that to be active, you need to be ICT compliant. You need to be compliant in the modern day and the modern use of the term, so that you don't get to class and you start looking for a student to help you.
Yeah.
The students should see you to be very compliant, to be active, to be useful, because the student wants to learn from you.
Yes.
And above all, like he said, universities, the stakeholders, let me not just say universities, stakeholders should do a little bit more, because the issue is having access to this equipment, to these materials. If you don't have access to it, how do you use it? Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Prof. Thank you so much, Prof, for this great submission. Dr. Isn't a blessing. Prof, thank you so much, Professor Simeon Olaiwola.
My pleasure.
If I was able to connect Professor Simire, I wouldn't be disconnecting right now, but I don't know why he has refused to connect. So let me disconnect now and try her before we lose time. Hello, Prof. Hello, Professor Simeon.
Oui, hello?
Okay. Au revoir, Prof. I may have to call you back before we wrap up on the show.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Sampson, for your submission, sir.
My pleasure.
Bon weekend, Prof. Merci beaucoup. Okay. All right. Now back to the studio where we have the representative of UFTAN, Dr. Isn't Blessing, all the way from Funai, right? Abakaliki. Yeah, she's on the panelist, and right here she's live in the studio, and that's to make sure we have someone from the list who's here. The topic today, the impact of digital technology on the teaching and learning of French. We'd like to hear from you while I try to establish connection again with Professor Simire. What is your take, please? You say hello once again and tell the listeners your name.
Hello.
Introduce yourself in French.
En français, bonjour à tous.
Yeah.
Et à toutes.
Yes, bonjour.
Oui, je m'appelle Blessing Oka, je suis docteur en la traductologie. Je suis professeur de français à Alex Ekweme, Federal University Ndufwalike. à Abakaliki. Merci, je suis ici, je veux partager mon avis sur le sujet du jour.
Bien sûr. Bon, vous êtes libre maintenant, vous êtes bienvenue à Enugu, vous êtes bienvenue à Urban Radio, dans le studio de Urban Radio. Bon, concernant le sujet, the impact of digital technology, allez-y.
En français?
Non, en anglais.
En anglais, oui.
Anglais.
Okay,
English,
impact
please.
of digital technologies in the teaching and learning of French in Nigerian universities. Yes. My professors, the speakers who have just spoken to us, Professor Samson Nzwake and Professor Simeon Olaiwola, they have done justice to the topic to some extent. They have done well. They have established what digital technologies actually means. Now I want to build upon what they have already said. Having understood what digital technologies are, we want to see how they have affected or impacted on teaching and learning of French. We will say that generally, teaching and education generally started using technology to a new level from the era of COVID-19. COVID-19 came and brought a new aspect or a new dimension to what was already in place, because the truth is digital technologies are not new in any sector, even in education, like my professors have already established. It's not a new thing, but it's had a new progress when COVID-19 came, and since then it has been having from one stage of breakthrough to another. Now, talking about how the impacts, it has impacted learning of French in Nigerian universities. I will be talking about some ways it has done that. One way is methodology of teaching. Teachers no longer stick to textbook, come to class, you have a textbook, like in those days when we used to learn or act pages in a book.
I'll beg to interrupt you here, because we have Professor Simire already connected, because she's from a distant place. We're going to let her speak now, then we'll come back to wrap up with you.
Okay.
Do you understand that yours is easier because you are in the studio with us?
Yes.
It was difficult to connect her. Hello, Prof. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Prof. You're live on the radio, Urban Radio 94.5 FM, and this is the special panel discussion put in place by UFTAN and French Cruise Niger to mark the Journée francophone, the Journée internationale de la francophonie. So we're looking at the impact of digital technology on the teaching and learning of French language in Nigerian universities.
Yeah.
So, but before we set the ball rolling with you, Prof, accept our congratulations. I mean, a few days ago, you were elevated to the rank of Professor of French, right?
Yes, yes.
So, félicitations, ma. Could you say congratulations to Prof?
Yes, Prof. Professor Simire, congratulations. Félicitations,
Merci.
Prof. Je
Merci.
suis Dr. Blessing Oka. Je suis ici avec the station.
Merci beaucoup.
Oui. Oui.
Okay, Prof. We have a few more minutes to go, so if you could take seven minutes to let us know, give us your view on the impact of this digital technology.
Yes. I think COVID, when we had COVID came to draw our attention to the fact that the traditional way of teaching could no longer be sustained. So, yes, and the impacts. Let me just start by saying that first of all, for us to talk about the impact, we need to talk about the digital learning literacy in education. So, if you want to talk about the impact of something, it means that thing has been used, or that people are using it, or that teachers are using it.
Okay.
But unfortunately, when we look at our environment and what is going on, all the difficulties we have when it comes to internet connectivity, power, and so many other things, we really have not been using it. I would rather talk about how to make our teachers become have that. Digital learning literacy.
Okay.
Or teaching literacy.
Yes.
Because for now we are not there at all. And we also need to talk about the people who are some of our teachers or our learners who are in rural areas. Nobody talks about them. So those are the important variables that we need to look at before we could even talk about any impact at all.
Okay.
Because it's as if what we are saying concerns only those of us who are in
universities,
urban areas and universities.
And unfortunately, we don't even have enough time this afternoon for this.
Yeah, so that's what I can say.
Okay.
So talking about the impact, yes, some of us have been able to use it, and it makes things learning easier for our students.
Okay.
Yes, and those who could not afford, who can, let me say, not afford the transport fare that is increasing every day because of our economic situation. So that's the blended aspect of it is it's a very good thing. So that's what I can just say for now.
Okay.
There are so many other I don't know whether you have questions to ask me in order to guide me a bit on exactly what you want us to say. But talking about the impact,
yes,
I don't like talking about the impact per se, because it has to do with those of us who are in town.
You know, I was going to ask you what you think the challenges are to this new topic, but you already mentioned power and then the inability of some teachers to meet up to expectations.
Yes,
so,
and their trainings too. We have to be trained.
Okay, so who is in your own opinion, Prof, who do you think is supposed to train these teachers, these lecturers? Does it boil down to individual work, or is the government supposed to organize trainings for university lecturers? Lecturers are expected to be 21st century,
yes,
up to date.
Century. Yes.
So what do you suggest to French teachers? Because this broadcast is going to actually be shared on various platforms. What is your advice to these younger scholars and lecturers on how to develop themselves to meet up to expectations?
Yes, I feel that we all need to play our part. Of course, governments, we need to train teachers, train lecturers, because they talked about, we are now talking about CC Mass, and in CC Mass, we are advised to use LMS.
Okay.
I'm talking about the learning management system in education.
Okay.
So if we have to do that, it's obviously universities, we have to teach their lecturers. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, we are gradually moving towards autonomy.
Yes.
So it then means that the content and the way we teach have to, we must think about innovation in order to retain our students. In order to have more students. Talking about those of us who are in French department.
Yes.
You know that most of our students are there not because they really wanted to be there.
Exactly.
Most of them because they are interested in other things, other courses. What does that mean? It means that we must make sure that the content we offer tallies with whatever they want to do.
Yes.
The content must be marketable. And obviously, there's no way we can teach them without AI, without thinking about the LMS I talked about, without so many other things that we need to add to our content. It is not just talking about, we are not supposed to be talking about, digital technology alone. Because even if you have digital technology that you can use, what about the content that you are offering?
Okay. That's true.
If the content is not interesting, if the content does not tally with what happens on the labor market, even if you use the digital content or digital technology or whatever, it wouldn't. They will not be interested.
Yes,
they will not be interested. Our students will not be interested. So I agree that we need to use digital technology, but at the same time, the content we are putting out there, those content must be rich. Those content must be interesting. Those content must tally with what the labor market is looking for. If we cannot do that, then we have not. I don't think we have done the right thing.
This is awesome.
And we will keep complaining that our students are not interested in French. Do you know that nowadays I notice that most of our students, they are, let me call it the concentration span. They lack concentration.
Yes. It's a problem in this 21st century.
Yes, whatever you want to teach them, you must make sure that you are brief and you make that impact.
That's true.
So for you to be brief and make that impact, obviously, we will need to use technology.
Yes.
But at the same time, the content, we cannot focus solely on theory. I think we did that for so many years, and now we just have to wake up. So we need to marry both.
Yes.
What I mean is, it should not just be theory. We should know what is going on outside the university environment, meaning the labor market, and also what are the contents we are putting out there.
Thank you so much, Prof.
So
this is much appreciated. I wish we had time. I would have taken you down the memory lane when you talked about French for special purposes. Looks like you're bringing in a little of that into your submission, but unfortunately, time is against us. I guess some other time in the nearest future, we'll look for more platforms where we can drink from your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof. I hate to let you go, but I have to let you go. So we listen to the lady in the studio. Bon weekend, Prof. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Say au revoir to Prof.
Au revoir, Prof. Bon weekend.
Au revoir. Au revoir. Bon weekend. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Prof. Dis bon weekend à Professor Simire Gregory.
Bon weekend.
Merci. All right, please, quickly. Time is racing against us right now. Dr. Ezinne Blessing live here in the studio. Are your students listening from Abakaliki?
Yes.
Okay,
Professor
great.
Simire, I can go on?
Yes, go ahead, please. You have 5 minutes. Please use it very well right now.
Yes, Professor Simire said a lot.
Okay.
And that brings me to say that, in a nutshell, digital technologies have kind of brought in a paradigm shift in the teaching and learning of French, because it's no longer those days that we used to rely on memorizing pages in a book. So we no longer do that. We have to adopt new methods of teaching to at least grab the interest of the learners.
Yes.
Because like Prof said, they are restless these days. Professor Simire. They are very restless. The youth, the learners of today, they are very restless. They want to be off in a while.
Yes.
So one thing is
what is responsible for this restlessness?
I wouldn't know.
Laziness?
Not really laziness. They are not really lazy.
Okay.
But they are, they are always on the screen.
Yes.
Okay. There is a whole lot of things to catch up with.
Yes.
On internet.
Exactly.
So you see them, they don't have your time. And they have businesses they are doing online. They have shows they are carrying on with online. Some of them are bloggers. So they want to go on with their little stuff.
Yes, okay.
Even if we know, although I do not know if they know, we know that they need the knowledge to do whatever it is they are doing online very well.
Okay, now, since we're having issues with time, what's happening with digital technology in your institution as it has to do with teaching of French?
Yes, in my institution.
Do you apply that in teaching of French?
In my institution, we even have a policy that backs up use of digital technology in teaching, not just of French, but generally in AE Funai. Okay.
Yes.
So the university has given a policy that 30% of your teaching method should be carried through digital technologies. That's AI technologies. But then 70% should be done the normal way, the normal teaching method. But the problem is what we've already mentioned. The professors before who spoke before have already said it. The problem is compliance. You see, many lecturers are not compliant.
Okay.
Not just
ICT compliant.
They are not ICT compliant.
So
not compliant could be because they are not literate. They are not trained in this thing. So it is that knowledge, that skill. The skill is not there. for most lecturers. And for those ones who have the skill, they have other challenges. There is internet problem. Like in my university, I can remember my last experience. I wanted to do night sessions for revision for my students who most of them did not attend classes for one reason or the other.
Okay.
But you see, when you log on and you want them to come on, they don't have internet to connect. So in the university community, you hardly get internet connection. So this is a problem for the few lecturers who are even literate in the usage of these things.
Yes.
They are not even able to access internet. Okay, so this disparity or instability in network, and then disparity in skill level among the students is also a problem. So you see, the few of them that connected that night, most of them didn't have the know-how. Okay, to know how to manage themselves, the attitude or the comportment to put on when you log on to a digital platform.
Wow.
You see them, their speakers are on, they are talking, they are making noise in the background.
The teachers now.
I mean the students now.
Okay.
The students now. Okay.
Okay.
They are that lack of experience is there. Okay. Then you see that the teachers themselves who would have maybe taking these groups in smaller units are not either they are not compliant, or the reason for this compliance is that they do not even have the skill. So we need to start from there. Training is the first thing.
Everybody is talking about training.
Whether we are taking it back to the university management,
yes,
although NUC has given us, they have also given policy. You know, these things have to affect policy mechanisms. Okay, so though NUC have given policy that this thing should be blended into our teaching methods,
okay, really,
but the technologies, are they available? That's the question.
That's the problem.
Okay, who makes these technologies available? That's the question. Who gives these skills? Who trains the lecturers and even the students? Because even as we are saying, some of these students really do not even know how to operate the technologies that we're talking about.
So what is the way forward? The way forward now is teachers should get trained first. Because if as the person who dispenses knowledge, you're not well trained to handle the digital technology, so how do you actually impact the students' lives?
Yes. The first thing is for the teachers to get trained, but there is another aspect of this getting trained which has to be very, very important. Let's tie it to something that the teachers need.
Okay.
If we tie the training to something that you see, even when these platforms are available, even when these training opportunities are available, people are nonchalant. Okay, they're not even willing to come out and be trained.
The teachers,
so
right?
The teachers. So personally, I think that even when these opportunities are there, that they should be tied to something that the teacher needs, so that the teacher himself gets trained first. Yes.
And then everybody benefits.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I hate to stop you here. Look, 1 hour just became 1 minute right here in this show. It's already 2 minutes past stop time. So we want to really draw the curtain on this show. Could you say goodbye to the people listening to you? You came all the way from Ebonyi State, live in the French Cruise Show right here on Urban Radio. Usually we say bon weekend, au revoir. Unfortunately, they can't even call. There's no time. You would have heard from our students. Amazing people. They are listening right now. Send them some love before we draw the curtain.
Oui, mes auditeurs, les étudiants qui m'écoutent, tout le monde. Je suis toujours Dr. Blessing Oka. I am happy to have been here with you, to have spoken to you, and I believe you learned some lessons today. Most importantly, we want you to go home and please get skills. Get skills. Yes.
Thank you so much à tous ceux qui ont participé à cette émission d'aujourd'hui, à tous nos auditeurs là-bas, everyone who participated in today's show. The phone lines were buzzing here, but we couldn't even get the much we wanted from our panelists. So unfortunately, we couldn't take any calls today. But next Saturday, for those of you who would be able to highlight some points from today's shows, could win something next Saturday on the French Cruise Show, 1 p.m. with Eddie Bongo. And I think Enwerem Chukwu promises to be here next Saturday. Let's hope so. We'll dive back to the usual cruise on Saturday on only on Urban Radio 94.5 FM Enugu. Bon week-end les amis, je reste à Monsieur Eddie Bongo, le roi du micro numéro 1 du Nigeria. Bon week-end.
Salut, bonjour tout le monde, bonjour, comment vous allez? Je m'appelle Charity Waneka et je suis professeur de français and you are listening to the French Cruise Niger Radio on Urban Radio 94.5 94.5 FM, just where you should be. Merci d'être ici avec nous et bon week-end à vous. Restez branchés, let's cruise together, nous sommes ensemble.
C'est moi Eddie Bongo, typical Ninja boy. Let's do this in French now. Special shout out to Mr. Flavor Nabania.
We love weekends. 94.5.
Magicien.